Let's begin our new SIA presentation. Socioeconomic Insights and Analytics that presents you with research and analysis on key issues, important issues that very few others do. So please follow us, please subscribe to us, and please establish this narrative of discussing issues deeply rather than just letting them go. So today we are going to discuss merit in Pakistan or the lack of merit in Pakistan. Somehow we can't make any appointment based on merit. Let's discuss why. Let's take the VC as an example. Vice Chancellor positions are a big grab in Pakistan. Number of people now who are professional Vice Chancellors, they move from one position to another. But the large number of vacancies in Vice Chancellor positions, 25 in Punjab, 25 in KP. They've been lying vacant for a while. They can't be filled. Why not? Sindh has passed a new law where they will also allow other people other than academics to get into Vice Chancellor positions. Okay, fair enough. But what is so coveted about these positions and why do they lie vacant? And why is it that they are appointed badly, as everybody knows? The current process in Pakistan is a search committee. I don't think we understand what a search committee is. Basically, it is 3 or 4 people who can be considered cronies, who are basically there to interview a list that has been prepared by a secretary. Secretary advertises the position, and advertisements contain crazy things. I should probably pull out advertisements and show them to you. Like they have various age limits, various publications, various experiences, etc., etc. Such a number of things that even Nobel Prize winners sometimes could not get in. But yet they manage to find people even without publications or anything, or even without the relevant degrees, and they make them vice chancellors. Excellent. At the same time, they advertise for positions, multiple VC positions at the same time. Sometimes 5 or 6, sometimes 7 or 8, recently 25. And one search committee interviews hundreds of candidates, maybe giving them 1 or 2 minutes each, and they decide who's going to be vice chancellor. Most countries of the world, search committee is something else. An interview means something else. And bureaucrats play an increasing role in these. Bureaucrats are set in the search or the selection process. Also, they are the people who are interviewing. Long delays happen, and most important of all, even courts get to it. Courts eventually matter ends up in court, and the court decides what's going to happen. How can you have merit like that? How can court decide on merit? Court can decide on procedures, but the bureaucrats control the procedure. So what does it mean? Does it mean that the spirit of merit is there? I don't think so. We need to review and think about this a lot. What is the international best practice? When they set up a search committee, the search committee looks everywhere in the world. They hire people from outside. They hire people from inside. They hire people from everywhere. They're looking for the best possible candidate. Who's in the search committee? Search committee are people who are dedicated to searching, who are looking. They're searching with a searchlight. They're searching with a torch. They're searching with a microscope. They invite people to come to their universities. Out here, it's totally different. Out here, they advertise, and whoever applies, and the advertisement is written particularly for one guy. For example, if the guy is 54, they'll say, nobody above 55, and nobody below 53. And you've fulfilled all the criteria. So the criteria, the court says set up criteria, they set up weird criteria, and they fulfilled it. The rest of the world does not set criteria like that. They want a transparent selection process, transparent search process. Sometimes even the selection and the search are different processes. They spend time, they prepare. Then when they set up a candidate, he's credible or she's credible. And those people then truly try and, get the best person they can. University of Oxford, Melbourne, all these Ivy League universities, they do this. In one case, I remember the president of a university, and he's called a president. I think this vice chancellor notion has to go. The president of the university was invited by the board on a dinner and made an offer right there, very carefully. They had considered it. They made him an offer, and they even were willing to negotiate, and they managed to get that person. But here there's also another problem. Why is it that people want to be VC? As I keep telling people, I studied with 10 Nobel Prize winners, and none of them wanted to be a VC. They thought a VC was a waste of time. And they were paid well. They were not paid much lower than the VC. Here, look at this. This graph shows you all. There's the salary and perks and the power. The VC is there on the left. And down the line, on the horizontal axis, you see professors, assistant professors, etc., etc. Now here, the VC has all the power. He can do anything he likes. He's the king. Just like in our country, the secretary is the king, or the minister is the king, or the prime minister is the king. We believe in kings. The power and the perks go down. The VC nowadays, I'm told, has a salary of 2.5 million. The VC has a huge house, often on 3-4 acres. The VC has a huge amount of benefits. Cars in different places, houses in different places, etc. The poor professors, etc., don't match him. So everybody wants to be a VC. Then the VC controls the budget of the university. I think this has to go. We have to think of a way of decentralizing our universities too, which is important. Pakistan system, there is no selection process. The boards are out of it, totally out of it. Bureaucrats influence it. And there's a huge amount of political influence because you've got a very strange thing called a chancellor. England had this because historically evolved. The king or the queen was chancellor of everything, every university, which was just a tradition. It didn't mean anything. The king or the queen never interfered. The vice chancellor was just a way of saying, hey, we've got a president of a university. Nowadays, we should go into the president of a university because really the chancellor interferes and the chancellor wants to run a university and the chancellor wants to control the university. Chancellor delays the appointment and the chancellor appoints his favorite, and that's where the problem occurs. And the bureaucrats are there to help the chancellor do his bidding. Now, this is ridiculous. So why do we have the senates, etc.? Why do we have the boards? So I think maybe we should have a selection search committee separate, which could be comprised of, I don't even know how to appoint them because quite frankly, our professors have become very politicized too. So we may have a selection and search committee separate. And the search process must last for some time. We should involve global headhunters, etc. It should be a proactive search process. And get rid of the bureaucrats and the politicians from the process. Now, I think the governance system of a university needs serious revisiting. First of all, why do we have chancellors? We have to get rid of this notion of chancellors. They should be presidents of universities. Why do we have bureaucrats on senates and boards? The parliament, unfortunately, is asleep. They think that every university must have 5 or 6 bureaucrats on boards or senates. Those guys do nothing except their underlings come and control the process and destroy things. Why should the Secretary of Education be involved in universities at all? I think these are issues that we should all begin to think about and talk about. Otherwise, we have these fiefdoms. They're not vice chancellors, they're fiefdoms, and the chancellor thinks that he's also controlled the process, that he's a fief, he's himself a duke or something. We need to really, really develop merit-based system, but that also means we need to decentralize. This chancellor thing has to go. Bureaucrats on boards have to go. Courts have to stay out of universities. There are too many court interference in universities. If the courts want to run universities, they should come to universities. They don't understand anything. They sit there at a distance and give silly decisions that throw up processes. I'll show you, we've got some research on this. There are about 70 cases in each university sitting in court for promotions and hiring. Is that any way to do business? Follow SIA, subscribe to SIA. SIA is there to establish a dialogue on these issues nobody else will talk about. Thank you. All the best.